Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mag with a very robust daily comedy news for a Saturday in particular. The nominees for Best Comedy Album Grammy are out. The nominees are Trevor Noah, I Wish You Would; Wanda Sykes, I'm an Entertainer; Chris Rock, Selective, Outrage; Sarah Silverman, Someone You Love; and Dave Chappelle, What's in a Name. If you've been listening for years, you know I have a pet peeve about the Best Comedy Album. My personal opinion is Best Comedy Album should be, an album. I know what an album is when I see it. They used to come on vinyl, then CD, then digital release. To me, a comedy album is not a Netflix special. That's something else. I'm not sure what the latest rules are, but as of 2021, the rules and guidelines for Best Comedy Album included albums, quote, part as a video project. So the Grammys do not agree with me. I understand why they do this, but I don't know. I wish an album were an album. Let's look at the breakdown. Trevor Noah, I Wish You Would. When I saw that, I was like, wait, what? There's a Trevor Noah comedy album? And I Googled it. It's a comedy special that came out in video back in 2022. Wanda Sykes, I'm an Entertainer. I could see it winning, but I didn't enjoy it. Chris Rock, Selective, Outrage could be a very pointed pick and would make the awards ceremony very, very interesting. Sarah Silverman, Someone You Love. I like that special a lot. Dave Chappelle, What's in a Name? Are we going to give a Grammy to Dave Chappelle and open up the whole transgender conversation again? That could be interesting. If you are curious what has won in the past, let me remind you. Last year, Dave Chappelle for The Closer. The year before, Louis C.K. So it's not like the Grammys are afraid of a little controversy. Could Chappelle go back to back? Tiffany Haddish in 21, Chappelle in 2020, Chappelle in 2019, Chappelle in 2018. Wow. Patton Oswalt, Talking for Clapping in 2017, CK in 16, Weird Al, Mandatory Fun in 15. I did like that album a lot. I'm not going to call that a Lifetime Achievement Award. That was a very, very strong album by Weird Al. 2014, Kathy Griffin, Calm Down Girl. 2013, I'll let you guess for 10 years. You will never remember what won the Grammy for Best Comedy Album 2013. This beat out Louis Black, Jim Gaffigan, Kathy Griffin, and Tenacious D. Your winner in 2013, Jimmy Fallon's Blow Your Pants Off. CK won in 12. Louis Black in 11. Stephen Colbert, A Colbert Christmas, won in 2010. What a weird pick. That beat out Kathy Griffin, George Lopez, Patton Oswalt, Spinal Tap, Back from the Dead, and a Weird Al Internet Leaks album. George Carlin won in 2009. George passed away June of 2008. Flight of the Conchords in 2008. Louis Black in 07. Chris Rock's Never Scared in 06. 2005, Jon Stewart and the cast of The Daily Show for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart Presents America, A Citizen's Guide to Democracy in Action. That's a terrible pick. The other nominees, also terrible. Ellen DeGeneres, Al Franken, David Sedaris, and Triumph. I probably would have given it to Triumph. 2004, Weird Al's Poodle Hat. 2003, Robin Williams Live on Broadway. 2002, Carlin. 2001, Carlin. 2000, Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker. And we don't need to go back to last century. At the New York Comedy Festival, the Scleroderma Research Foundation had its Cool Comedy Hot Cuisine tribute to Bob Saget. They raised more than $1.2 million for the SRF. Congrats. Jeff Ross kicked off the night. Then Ronnie Chang went up. Nikki Glazer, Michael Che. Two of the Counting Crows did a rendition of A Long December. Great song. Singer Adam Duritz shared that was a favorite of Bob Saget. Bob's widow Kelly Rizzo said the fact that everybody's still showing up for Bob means so much. We're all trying to do our best without him. Jeff Ross said, I miss Bob. We're keeping his name alive. If you knew Bob, the real Bob was the guy who hosted this event. You never saw Bob cry unless it was at this event. You'd see the inside of Bob, his heart at this event. He had a passion for the scleroderma community. He'd be proud of this tonight. He'd be proud of Kelly, his nephew Adam, and his daughters. Dave Chappelle spotted outside the Comedy Cellar on Wednesday night. Apparently, Dave popped in and did a set. The Daily Mail didn't report on the set at all, but they said Dave stood under the Comedy Cellar's sign in a blank tack top that showcased his chiseled arms. Dave wore a silver and black luxury wristwatch. I challenge you to say luxury wristwatch, even once. I can't do it. You have no idea how many takes I just took out. The comedian sported a shaved head and had a chain dangling from his neck and grinned while posing for a photo with DJ Cypher Sounds. The Rock says he really doesn't want to be the president. There was a poll that said 46% of Americans would vote for The Rock. The Rock was on Trevor Noah's new podcast. And The Rock says, that was an interesting poll that happened. I was really moved by that, and I was really blown away. I was really honored. At the end of the year in 2022, I got a visit from the parties asking me if I was going to run and if I could run. It was a big deal. And it came out of the blue, and it was one after the other. They brought up that poll. They also brought up their own deep dive research that would prove, should I ever decide to go down that road? But The Rock told Trevor Noah, matter of fact, there's a lot of things about politics that I hate. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune caught Trevor Noah's show at the Orpheum. The heart of his current act, they tell us, consists of stories about MLK Jr., German history, Columbus Day, and national anthems. One bit apparently hinged on knowing at least a little about Andrew Jackson's treatment of his slaves. They write, his delivery is as gutsy as his choice of material. Most comics panic if they go 20 seconds without getting a laugh. Not Trevor Noah. He's willing to dedicate more than a minute to setting up a joke, a risky stunt that paid off over and over again. During a lengthy Q&A at the end, he responded to questions about his love life, Donald Trump's legal troubles, and Trevor's decision to wear a shirt from H&M. Heather McDonald is like super hot lately. I told you the other day somebody had named her like the comedian to watch or the next great thing or whatever she was deemed. ABC News caught up with her. She talked about launching a podcast after she heard a fellow comic launched a podcast to get his name out there and sell more tickets. Heather said, I was like, if a podcast can help do that, I'm going to do that. And she launched Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald back in 2015. Heather strives to be anything but divisive. But despite her best efforts, she found herself in the middle of a debate about the coronavirus vaccine after she collapsed during a 2022 stand-up set in Arizona. Footage of her fainting was used in a video compilation that peddled misinformation about vaccine side effects. Before she collapsed, Heather joked she'd never contracted the virus. Heather says, I fainted right after that, and I've never fainted before or after. She says she still hasn't had the virus and is indeed vaccinated, and says the video has done nothing but hurt my career because the pro-vaccination people think I'm like a puppet for the anti-vaxxers, and the anti-vaxxers call me names for getting vaccinated. I say everyone make decisions for themselves, and I have no say in the matter. The Flyover Comedy Festival wraps up in St. Louis today. They have a wonderful grid where you can see all the shows on one nice screen. I wish all comedy festivals would do this. Some of the more famous people today, 7 o'clock, Jeff Ross, 9 o'clock, Janelle James, and 10 o'clock, Shane Torres. There are a bunch of other shows. It looks like that was a really good festival. I can now delete the bookmark. My browser tab gets quite full with all these festivals. Let's go to this other bookmark, the New York Comedy Festival, see what's going on tonight. The second Saturday of the festival is usually the big night, so they don't have a grid, so I have to scroll down. Todd Barry is at the Bell House at 4:30. That's a cool time. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. The Beach Boys are playing by my house, and Jimmy Carr is down in Philadelphia, and I'm tempted to do both, and there's a good chance I do neither, because I am so wiped out from last weekend's event, which I won't mention. David Koechner plays Chelsea Music Hall at 6:30. Donnell Rawlings at the Hard Rock at 7. Otsko and Kotska, 7 o'clock Town Hall. Brett Goldstein, Beacon, 7 o'clock. So many good shows. Shamilton, an improvised hip-hop musical at the Brooklyn Comedy Collective at 7. Steph Tolev at the Bell House, 7:30. Irene 2 at Union Hall, 7:30. Nathan McIntosh, the Down with Tech Tour, Gramercy, 7:30. Mateo Lane, Carnegie Hall, 8 o'clock. Mateo Lane can fill Carnegie Hall? Wow. I would have bet $1 against that. Sophie Zucker's Sophie Sucks Face, Brooklyn Comedy Collective, 8:30. David Koechner, Chelsea Music Hall, 8:30. Otsko again at 9:30. Donnell again at 9:45. Dulce Sloan, Gramercy, 10:30. The LA Times has been standing up for LA comics at the New York Comedy Festival. They want us to go see Nikki Paris, who's at the Laurie Beachman Theater at 9:30. Before moving to LA in 2018, Staten Island native Nikki Paris only dreamed of headlining the NYCF. Fresh to stand up as a teen, his love of Joan Rivers brought him to the Laurie Beachman Theater, one of her workout rooms, as an audience member. Does that math work out? How old is Nikki Paris? All right, it appears Nikki Paris was born Christmas Eve of 1992. Joan's been gone a minute now. When did Joan die? Joan passed away in 2014, so if Joan did a live show, say, a month before she passed away, and you were born in 1992, you could be 22 and see Joan Rivers. Okay, the math does work out, Johnny Mac. Why don't you shut up and leave Nikki Paris alone? Separate from the festivals, Rory Scovel is taping his next special tonight at the Cowles Center in Minneapolis. A lot of Minneapolis talk this week. Neil Brennan's at the Fonda Theater in L.A., also taping a special. Marlon Wayans, also taping a special at the Apollo. And is that not part of the New York Comedy Festival? There's a move. I'm going to tape my special in the middle of the festival and not be part of the festival, but the festival had other shows at the Apollo, but I just read you the list. I didn't see his name there. Who knows? That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. If you're new, I do this 7 days a week. If you're not new, tell a friend about it. You apparently like it. You're still here. See you tomorrow.